Good morning everybody, Tony Margatelli here, Chairman at ICPA. Welcome to another one of my In Practice blogs. This time we're looking at my 5 top tips for startup practices. Well, it may seem somewhat strange that the first of my top tips is to make sure that you've got professional indemnity insurance in place, but I'm afraid it's that important. Mistakes do happen, and if you make a mistake as a professional accountant, it's quite likely you're going to get sued, and if you have done something wrong, you want to be sure that you're covered. So please make sure that you've got adequate professional indemnity insurance in place from day one. If you're a member of an institute, check your institute guidelines. They will give you multiples of cover to have in place. But if you're qualified by experience and you're not sure how much to take, talk to your brokers. They will obviously help you out and give you an idea of the fees coverage level that you're liable to need in relation to the fees that you're projecting. Now, my next top tip is to invest as much as you possibly can in IT. Now, I'm not just talking about the hardware, but I'm talking about investing the time to make yourself as literate with IT as you possibly can. Time is money. That's what accountancy and being in practice is all about. You only have time to sell, and time is money, and time has a cost. And if you're a fledgling practice starting out, you've got an awful lot of things to do and you haven't got staff to help you out, you're dealing with this on your own, maybe a bit of part-time help. So you want to invest in as much IT as you possibly can, but you need to understand how to use it and get as literate as you possibly can in as many different aspects of IT as you possibly can. Don't forget, the major areas to look for to make sure you've got covered are obviously tax return preparation and submission, accounts production and IXBRL, payroll, and most likely practice administration. If you cover or can get covered those 4 areas, that will give you a very good start in your practice development. Now, my next top tip is networking. Now, we're not just talking about networking for prospective clients, because there's more to it than that. Yes, networking for prospective clients is vitally important, because obviously there you are in practice, but does anybody know that you're in practice? Yes, you can advertise, you've got your website, you've got all the usual. Sometimes just getting out and networking will bring you in contact with more potential clients, and you have a chance to sell yourself one-to-one. But I'm also talking about networking with your colleagues. As an accountant on your own, you're very much isolated and in your own, cocooned in your own world, working flat out, trying to keep everything together. And you need to interact with other accountants. You need to try and meet with your colleagues to find out how they deal with certain problems, exchange tips about software, etc., and just generally chew the fat about what's going on in the world of HMRC. So if you're in an institute or you're a member of an organisation, look up for branch meetings. Take the time to go along and attend them. They're great. You can always meet up with colleagues, and you'll find you'll actually enjoy yourself, and it will help you in developing your practice. My next tip is to register for as many helplines as you can and to keep your CPE up to date. Why? Well, you've now set up in practice and you're going to get asked all manner of questions. You're going to get asked about tax, all the taxes in all the shapes and sizes, no doubt payroll questions, landlord and tenant questions, employment legislations, and you can't possibly know everything. Yes, you've got the internet, you've got textbooks, you can do research, etc. But sometimes you just want to pick up a phone, talk to someone, explain the situation, and they go da 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 da, and they say to you, "Yes, you're totally right," and you feel great, and you go to bed at night and you sleep well, having got that answer. So helplines are there because nobody can know everything, and the worst thing you can do is to give an answer that you're not certain about. In regards to CPE, well, CPE, of course, helps you keep up to date. That's why it's in place. That's why it's there. We're accountants. Our world that we work in and inhibit changes almost daily. So we have to keep up to date, and we have to try and keep up to date as best we can. If you're a member of an institute, an organisation, you've got to have CPE points, make prizes or hours or whatever. So do try and keep up with your CPE. And if you pick good CPE, you'll be amazed that not only does it help you learn, but sometimes, going back to what we talked about earlier on, it does help with the isolationism that sometimes you feel when you're just starting up in practice. So helplines are vitally important, and CPE really will help. My final tip for a fledgling accountant is to suggest that you might want to spend as much as you can, both in terms of time and money, in mobile technology. Make sure that you've got something covering you when you are out at meetings and you can't pick up the phone, whether you have a telephone answering service, whether you use answer machines, whether you use links to other from your mobile phone. But invest as much as you can in mobile technology, because obviously when you're on your own, you don't want to give the impression that you are the only person and you're never around. And also, when I'm talking about mobile technology, I'm also thinking that as a fledgling accountant, as someone, the new kid on the block, as it were, what's going to differentiate you from all the other people? Well, at the moment, actually, what it is an app. There's not that many apps out there and about. So if you're a young practice starting out now, you can score by being one of the few that's got an app, and it's modern, and it's, as it were, happening and coming. So have a look at the app. It might really help you out as a fledgling business. And I think that comparing the spend on an app with your website, I think I'd rather spend more on the app and have a more basic website than a fancy website than the app. But that's for you guys to make up.